The Ministry of Education, Government of India, has established an innovation cell with the purpose of systematically fostering the culture of innovation in all higher education institutions. Under the guidance of MOE, the Innovation Cell at ISBR Business School aims to form a comprehensive system for students to enable them to foster the culture of innovation from the nascent stages of ideas to a successful startup. IIC at ISBR has been organizing various events and activities for the students to enhance, develop entrepreneur skills. This panel discussion is one such event organized by IIC InnoVenture. Priorly, I would like to introduce all the four panelists. The first panelist that we have is Mr. Kishor Jagirdar. He is MA Economics, MBA Marketing, and a PG DHRM. Change Management Specialist, serial entrepreneur, and innovator. Sir co-founded InfoPace Management Private Limited in 1999 to cater to SMEs with holistic support in management consulting. He has over 28 years of rich management experience. In the last 15 years, he has been assisting and working on various aspects of enterprise development strategies for the industry and initiated various programs on transformational change. He is a mentor and advisor to several mid-sized transformed companies such as KPMG, Larsen & Toubro, Spice Telecom, etc. ISBR takes immense pleasure in welcoming you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So our second panelist for the day is Mr. Nanjunda Palecanda. Nanju sir is an entrepreneur, a distributed economic coach, and a startup ecosystem influencer. He is an alumnus of Bangalore University and IIM Bangalore. He has been an entrepreneur across the internet, media, e-com, retail tech, analytics, HR, and healthcare. Sir has an early success of positive exits and a few big falls. He has a decent experience in raising fundings for ventures where he has collaborated and has been instrumental in getting fundings for ventures he has collaborated with. He believes Web 3.0 is a great tool. He believes that Web 3.0 is a great tool for adoption of distributed economy across every sector and industry. Towards that, he's been driven tokenization and businesses and primarily building securitization of instruments to ensure dependable adoption of cryptocurrency. He has invested in media and entertainment, startup blockchain technologies, ventures, F&B in social impact, vernacular media, and a fashion venture. ISBR takes immense pleasure in welcoming you, sir. The third panelist for the day is Mr. Dheer Lalit Gupta. Sir has more than 22 years of work experience in software industry, performing project or product or release management, people management, and software development. He started his career as a programmer, and in the first phase of his work on e-commerce, ERP building, and automation products. In the second phase of his career, he understood the importance of software engineering practices, tools and projects, product management, and implemented the same for development of his various product lines. In the current phase of his career, based on his experience, Sir is looking forward for applying concepts related to business or product strategies and taking innovative ideas to product conversations. ISBR takes immense pleasure in welcoming you, sir. The last panelist for the day is Mr. AMARDEEP KAUSHAL, currently more into media buying, media planning, marketing, and branding solutions, technology marketing to government sector firms, including sports marketing, speaker engagement, and public relations. Sir helps companies and brands improve their relationship with customers using sports marketing and their relationship with customers, sponsoring them with communication tools. The love and passion for sport, along with positive values it carries, serve developing brand preference, thus increasing skills. But there's more. This is done in a very natural, non-intuitive way, without interrupting viewers during their favorite show. Sir is the director of Confederation of Global Investors. He is a Padma Shri Award nominee 2023 under the social sector. He has also been featured in Your Story and is the present editor-in-chief at CXO Herald. He is also the founder of Human and Heritage Care. Sir is also a part of Reclaim Temples movement. He is also the vice president at Jagannath Temple Rath Yatra Samiti. It takes immense pleasure in welcoming all the panelists.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to all the panelists. Vatan, you can take it forward.
Thank you.
So, sir, there are certain questions that we would like to start the discussion upon. We would like to know certain insights. We will have to learn certain insights about what exactly is entrepreneurship and what are its effects on today's economy. And so, sir, I think Kishor sir will take it forward.
Can you just repeat the question again?
Sir, we would like to know, sir, we would like to have certain insights about what exactly is entrepreneurship in today's era and what does it has on our economic growth.
Yeah, so it's a very critical question and very good question as well. Thank you very much for raising that. See, entrepreneurship is all about nothing but identifying what problems are there around you and then trying to solve those problems. And through the problems, you not only create there is income for yourself, but also to enable larger wealth creation. That is in a collective, spirit. So what we call as circular economy now, which is catching up, where everyone in the ecosystem who are stakeholders also get a share of that particular, process of income or wealth creation. So it is not just about me, myself, or my home, but it is also about how I responsibly create a well-knitted circuit in the ecosystem around me, in a community around me, where I solve the problem which is being faced by people in my neighborhood, in my neighboring street, or in and around the community, and that will bring the best of my talents, bring the best of my self-expression, giving me immense happiness and also an income that will be able to sustain my life. Right? So this is in simple terms. And then now, how important that is for the economy? It's a very critical question. In the economic point of view, we have picked up a lot of practices because of the globalization and all the stories that we were told right from our young age when we were kids. Now, as we have grown up, all of us are adults here, and we can see things differently. The world is not the same. So post COVID, you will see that the entire world has been shuffled, and a lot of changes have happened, and people are now looking at climate change as a very serious initiative. So a lot of corrective actions are being taken, and this is a whole lot of opportunity that rebuilds the ecosystem, rebuilds the industry, rebuilds the entire structure of understanding of what we know in terms of our lifestyle, our occupation. Everything is changing. So including government policy and how government interacts and all. So now with this particular thing, it becomes very important that we don't work on a very macro level where we say, look, I buy something from, it was a matter of great pride when I used to say, like I bought something which is imported or something that has been, from made in Europe or made in US, and wearing that or using that used to, enhance my ego or my self-image. Now those things are no longer relevant. What is important is that we look at how we contribute to the economy around us. That is, all these people now in the recent episode that you saw, we celebrated Independence Day. What was important there? All those people who are on the streets, vendors, all who are selling flags, did we buy anything from them? Did we create a cycle of economy there? Did we make a difference to people around us? And at the end of the day, when I go to sleep, what have I contributed back to the economy today as a duty, as a citizen? Now, have I bought something which is made local, which is made in and around my community, where I have created a sustainability cycle, right? So when we think that we have bought a shirt, we go with the ego that I have money in my pocket, I bought a shirt. But actually, if you look at it deeply, somewhere a farmer has spent all his year to harvest the crop, and the crop has gone to the yarn making and threshing making machines, and then from there it has gone to the fabric yarn creation and loom industry. then it has gone to the design, then it has gone to the garment place where it is stitched into a product, and then finally the retailing thing happens. So you can understand by buying a shirt of say 400 rupees, which you think you have bought, you have created a whole ecosystem existence to be in function. So that is what is important to think and do now as an economy. And every small thing matters now in rebuilding the country, rebuilding the Indian economy, rebuilding the world economy through Indian economy. So being the world's largest population that we are almost on the verge of superseding China also in terms of population. The country having the world's largest population, what are we doing to hold our economy and also to the world, right? So that is where we are now. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. Dheer Lalit Gupta, would you like to add in some points on the same?
I think Kishor has said enough. So like, I'll give you one example, like, how the entrepreneurship has changed the scenarios, how it has enabled, the bottom line of the pyramid, what we call it also, right? So you look at the scenario, how, what was the cab booking scenario a couple of years back, right? So when there were no Olas and Ubers. Olas and Uber and disrupted the whole industry. So other day I was traveling with some person and he comes out and says that he's asking me on the way, he's asking me, what is this place? What is this place? So I just asked him that, are you new to Bangalore? He said, yeah. Then I said, how are you driving? He said, Google Maps is there. So with that, I can do that, right? So look at that. If this, the startups were not there, if they wouldn't have disrupted the industry, right? So these people would have never been able to get those opportunities. So as Kishor said, like, also I will like to add what Kishor was mentioning about, entrepreneurship is not only about businesses, right? So like, if you look at in the past, like the NGOs, the people used to start NGOs. They were also doing something, towards contributing towards the society, doing something innovative here, which possibly changes something at the bottom line, right? So like, yeah. So, but now, NGOs are also moving towards innovative solutions. They are also seeing that, like, how they can be, self-sustainable models they can generate, and they can do that. Like, yeah.
Thank you, sir. AMARDEEP, sir, would you like to add in some points?
Sure. First of all, very good evening to everyone, especially respected panelists over here. For me, if you ask me, because I come from a social sector actually, and the ball game changes, when it comes to, when you look at the social sector, as a whole. But for the last couple of years, what I have seen, some changes, in terms of startups or ideas being generated, to serve the society, is like remarkable. Just want to share few stories where I'm helping a couple of startups, who are working on civic issues, and especially transportation, logistics sector, and tourism sector. And just 2 days back, this small incident has happened. This small startup from Japan itself, they have just developed a IoT based product which can help you to catch up the oil theft from which happens in the fleets and all, and also the big machineries, and that is because of the drivers and all. We met one of the biggest logistic player in the market in Karnataka, and surprising to me, he said, like, we don't need your technology because there is no way out. I have to, I have to give that cushion to my driver. If I don't allow them to do that much of theft, my entire system will collapse, my business will collapse, nobody will join. So I feel, there are a lot to do, a lot more to do, and a lot more to learn from people who are doing business right now. And still, I believe there's a huge opportunity lying ahead for people like us and also the youngsters who are there, who started the journey of being an entrepreneur. So yeah, that's it, and over to you.
Thank you, Satan. That was meaningful and insightful as well. So, Nanjunda, sir, we would like to know your views on entrepreneurship.
Hi, Vatan. Good evening to everybody, and thank you for having me here. Well, I'd like to say things have really changed from a point of, when I first became an entrepreneur, we never used to call ourselves as entrepreneurs. We used to call, or not even a startup for that matter, we used to say, I'm starting a business. So a lot of lingo, language has changed, and perceptions have changed. In fact, there was a point of time for me, and it was a family gathering where somebody asked my father in front of me. I was rather 2 steps away, and he asked, "So, what is your second son do?" And I was curious, what is he going to say? And he actually said something. Right? That something was obvious, right? So from that, I meet people and they say that, my daughter is an entrepreneur, my son is an entrepreneur. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. What are they doing? No, they're building some app, right? So it's an app a school student builds as a school project today. But a parent actually tells proudly that my son or my daughter is an entrepreneur because they're building an app. So the very perception of being an entrepreneur has come about in such a manner that people are actually good and happy and proud to talk about it. I think that's a huge change I see, which is positive. And second thing is that there was a struggle to raise money. I mean, we never looked for money when we started. It was bootstrapping was norm, just a basic thing. And today you actually have so much of access to capital. There's so much of money. And another amazing journey is that most of us entrepreneurs who are sharing this conversation and talking about entrepreneurship, all of us primarily understand funding from a perspective of equity, right? And today we are in an era where most of you in the audience, who's thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, you don't have to worry about capital available, and two, not have to worry about access to capital from an equity point of view. Because today with the Web 3.0, money is available where money is available as a token, wherein you issue a token, which means you are issuing value, but not equity, which means you are not giving away your control. So this is a huge shift in our generations that we have seen and we are part of. And all you guys who are actually looking to become an entrepreneur, you got the best of. I think it's a great time to be an entrepreneur going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those words. And I think being an entrepreneur is not an easy task as such. So my next question would be, what are the specific personality traits that we usually need to have to become an entrepreneur? Becoming an entrepreneur is not that easy, and it takes a lot of courage and a lot of risks to be followed with. So I would like to ask the panelists, what are the specific personality traits that you think would modify a person into a successful entrepreneur? Kishor, sir, starting from you.
Yeah, I would say the most critical part is to be a great problem solver. And that is where it all starts, the ability to solve problems. And then also to embrace the failures. So the ability to rebound in all the circumstances, and also embrace that failures are a stepping stone to the learning and understanding how you can get to the better and better version, because everywhere there is certain dynamics that works. We may be thinking it's a triangle, but then actually what is required on the ground may be a square. So until we realize that it's a square and I've been trying to sell a triangle, so it will never match, right? So can I also look at having a circle which can have triangle, square all fit into one, or a square that can bring all the triangles and every other design into one. So it is an experiment and a constant journey where the ability to face things and not run away from the fact, but to stand there, face it, and also ensure that there is a learning intake. And then how do you bring the best out of yourself? So this is some of the two things that I would say the top in my ability. And the third one is about having the talent and the skill to ensure that there is a monetization of the value created. So whatever we have solved as a problem, can I also convert that into a value which can be monetized, where people are willing to pay for it, right? So these three things are the top of which I would recommend.
Thank you, sir. Amardeep, sir, would you like to add in some points?
Yes, sure. When it asks about personal traits which an entrepreneur should have, first thing which always comes to my mind is one should always try to love himself or herself first, then try to love others, because we are it's easy to build AI, which is artificial intelligence, but from where you will get human intelligence? So you need to be a human first. The human first approach has to be there, whatever business or ideas you are going to work on. And secondly, which I strongly believe, you should look at being a self-dependent. I'm talking about being try to bootstrap your startup. Try to see how far and how well you will be able to manage with the limited funds, and and then try to add more value going down the line. Third is patience. You have to be patient, have a patience while doing any business. The fourth is discipline, which I always believe helps any entrepreneur to succeed in life. So that was something which I always on fifth and the last, definitely I should not forget. It's like he or she should be open to learn and innovate. So there are 5 things which I just want to add. Points which I just want to add, the traits which is required going forward if somebody is looking to pursue their career as an entrepreneur.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you so much. Nanjunda, sir, can we have some words from you?
Well, I would say just be you, whatever you are, be honest to yourself. And see, I just like to ask this question. Maybe people could put up their thing. See, most times people like to compare and regard Nikola Tesla as the greatest person, and his opponent being, which was I think 4 or 5 year old Thomas Alva Edison, as a is represented as not such a great guy, right? From being an entrepreneur, let's just try to take a vote among your 60 plus people. Who do you think was a great entrepreneur among Tesla and Thomas Alva Edison? Whoever you vote for, the reality was those 2 people we talk about after nearly 150 years, right? While India was stuck with just after first Indian independence, War of Independence, these guys were filing their first and second and third and hundreds of patents in US, and they both were totally opposites. See, Thomas Alva Edison always attributed his success to him being deaf, which meant that he was physically near deaf, and from a persona point of view, he had never listened to anybody, right? He would always go on doing, and he always believed that even 1,000 times his failure, he said that he figured out 1,000 ways of not to do something, right? So that was one trait. Actually, today, GE is a company that you actually can attribute to his success of having built an enterprise. And most people today like to say that their hero is Tesla, which actually I would like to regard Tesla as a great inspiration. But at the same time, what did Tesla create? Tesla was extremely organized. He would never get down to doing something till he was completely clear about it. right? And some of the things what Tesla wrote down as ideas, today people are talking about that it can actually mean something. But Tesla was a great inventor. So he is today. A lot of entrepreneurs try to say he is my idol, and today people even compare Steve Jobs to Tesla, which is, I think, highly misplaced. Being entrepreneur is not really about being able to invent. Of course, Edison was a major inventor. He has invented multiple things, and being a deaf man to invent what is it? Music player those days. That what was it called? Some Graham it was called. I forget that. So he actually invented it, right? And then thereafter, music evolved. I mean, the way our ability to listen to music evolved. So I think it all comes down to one, being sincere to oneself primarily. So if you believe in something and you think it has to reach, just go after it. And adding to already all the two gentlemen who spoke, that you need to just believe in yourself, will be supporting you. So you need to have the courage to stand up to everybody and pursue your belief to the extent of being able to prove it no matter what, and go after it. And today, I think it helps to listen, because it also can get you some money if you listen to the right people.
Yes, so that was indeed in fact well in detail. Mr. Lalit Gupta, sir, if you could add in some points.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think there are a few things which I will like to add. In our world, in our entrepreneurship world, there is a saying that, feedback is the breakfast of entrepreneurs, right? So every day you get up, you have to learn something new. You get to learn something new, right? So you should have that hunger to learn, and have the persistence, the patience, the listening skill to listen to your customers, to listen to what the market is saying, right? So that's a continuous learning process over there. Okay. So I think Amar, I think already touched base on that. You should have a passion towards what you do. Many times when people come to me and ask me that, what is trending? Okay, what should I start up which is trending? So I always tell them one statement: don't follow the trend, follow your passion, right? If you have a passion, so that comes to the third thing, right? So when you have the passion, even if there are 10 things which are going wrong, you will fight that back, and you will be persistent on that. So that third thing is like persistence, right? So you have to, there will be a lot of pitfalls, but if you just follow the trend, after some time you will say, no, this is not working, and I should that was possibly the wrong idea I chose, right? So but it doesn't work like that. So I think a couple of days back I was looking at Zerodha's growth chart. Okay, in first 4 years they were of their incorporation, they were less than 1,000 users of theirs. And now if you look at it, they have crossed, just 3 days back they crossed 1 million users or something, right? So so that's how it is. So you have to be persistent, you have to believe in what you do. And another thing which I will say is a team player. Okay, when you take the path of entrepreneurship, you have to do a lot of jobs, right? You have to be a good executioner, you have to be a good marketing guy, you have to be a good sales guy, you have to be a good team builder, but you as an individual cannot do all the things. So that's why, when they go to the investors also, right, first thing they look at it is, not the first thing, at least one of the very important thing they look at it is how strong is the team, how well they are, how well they have differentiated the activities among themselves. So yeah, so these are the few of the things which I feel matters a lot.
Great, sir. Great. I think we students have got great insights about what are the specific personality traits to be an entrepreneur. But now we would like to know what are the major inhibitors which fall into your place in your entrepreneurial journey. In the growth of an entrepreneur is not that easy. When we have to discuss, there are a lot of pitfalls and there are a lot of challenges that you people face. So can you just help us out with letting us know some inhibitors that can stop the growth of an entrepreneur? Starting with Kishor, sir, I think we can start with you, sir.
Will you just repeat what they said, because your voice was cut off?
Sir, my question was very simple, wherein we have to identifying certain major inhibitors which stops or hinders the growth of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, see, one of the major thing is the perception of what we have brought as a legacy in the society, where though it is changing, but it is not entirely changing, that we don't treat an entrepreneur who has failed with an idea with an encouraging mind, so we, in fact, we label that person that he has failed, and we keep on referring him from that failure, rather than looking at saying that, okay, he has tried, he has failed, let's give him a seed fund and put him back on track for a fresh idea, right? So that kind of approach from the society is still yet to be seen in an open way, that acceptance, because most of us are wired with the thought process that we have to complete our degrees, get our certificates, and then get into a job, either a government job or a private job, and to hell with entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, because they're all pack of people who are risk takers, and they're treated like second-rated citizens. So in the recent years, we have seen that a lot of hype that is there, which is being created around the story of entrepreneurship, where people are startup owners floating around with BMW and all. This is exactly opposite of what I was talking about also. Now, these kinds of trends makes people feel a little skeptical about entrepreneurship, because they don't understand the real meaning and real context of what is the journey of entrepreneur. They see only from the outside. Now, other part is the access to funds, as Nanju was mentioning earlier, that there was a big struggle during the earlier days, but now access to fund is there. But now the point here is the choice of plenty, which is suitable for me, what is evidently working for me, and if I take something, I end up spending before I realize that my burn rate is very high, so therefore my money is all gone, and I again have to go back into looking for funding. So this kind of problems which are there in the market actually acts as a barrier for the growth of the startups, because either we are going too fast or either we are going completely negative. So if there is a balanced approach, a middle path, where we talk about a structured, healthy way of enabling, as your topic is about being an enabler of the ecosystem, being an enabler of the entrepreneurship. So if the strength of the enablers becomes more and more clear and structured, which we are seeing post-COVID it is happening. In fact, the very fact that you are organizing this event and thinking in that direction is a major leap in faith. So I would say these are some of the factors that actually stops people from growing, because either we are trying to grow too fast and end up getting into a very awkward situation where we don't know what to do, which becomes a dead end, or we go so slow that we get wiped out. So that's the thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think Nanjunda, sir, if you have any insights.
I could share a couple of stories. One startup I was mentoring from Kerala, the team split up because one of the co-founder was not getting a girl to marry, right? And they were asking him whether they've got raised funding. They have not raised funding. Actually, ended up quitting, took up a job, and then he got married. So that's one, right? There's another team I'm mentoring here. This is a startup actually incubated in IISc, and this is no girl scene here. It's just that the one of the co-founder, he's come out of IIT, and it's just a sheer pressure from his family that when he's coming out of IIT Madras, he cannot be going and starting something his own. So he I tried talking to him many times. He came to Bangalore, met at a cafe here. Like we talked about everything, but despite everything, just last week he resigned and he quit, and he's actually taken up a job. So we still have whole of social pressure. So like what Kishor was talking about, that we need to support. But whether we get support or not, it's very unlikely that we're still going to get so much of social support for this, for all kinds of reasons, right? Whether do you have funding, how much of funding, whether you have funding from a friend, or whether it is organized VC and things like that. So it's very complex. So I think the limitation from, or what was the term used? What are the challenges of being an entrepreneur? Are plenty at every stage. So it just comes down to one's own grit and wanting to go about it, because you will always have at every point of time, different times, you will always have different pressures and challenges and difficulties, no matter how much money is available, no matter how much opportunities are there. In fact, government funds are so many. There are grant monies are available for you to do proof of concept. There is convertible debentures where you actually, 4-5% rate of interest here. Where was this kind of money? You ask any entrepreneur, you go and ask for a overdraft, you need to pay 18% interest, right? And here you're getting Government of India giving you money at 4-5% interest payable back in 3 years. And if you still fail to pay, you can actually convert it. So life is being made so easy to be on. So challenges will always be there, but life has become that much more easy to be an entrepreneur for somebody who wants to really do. I don't think any of this is a hurdle to hold them back, and the rest will find an easy way out in the pretext of girl or a pressure from family. If I'm sounding sexist, no offense to the girls, it's just that was very specific to the context.
Lalit sir, would you like to add in some points?
Yeah. So, I was just thinking about, like, when I started my entrepreneurship journey. So I was very reluctant to talk to my father that, like, after working in corporate for 16 years, like, I'm going to tell him that I'm going to quit the job and take the entrepreneurship path. But to my surprise, he was very, supportive in nature, and he said, yes, you should give it a shot. You may try something. So another instance I will say is, like, I was recently talking to one of the HR heads of a MNC, and they have drafted a policy now that if somebody has taken a path of entrepreneurship and they want to come back in the corporate world, their degree is considered as equivalent to MBA, and they are looked forward for the senior leadership roles over there in the organization. So the thought processes have changed, right? Like, so now the things are changing now. So even another organization, like, I think it is, if I'm not wrong, it is SAP. So they have created a sabbatical. I think even IIT Madras also recently created a sabbatical, that while studying, if you want to take a break, go start something. If you want to continue. If you want to come back, you come back. So everywhere the things are changing. So, like, but challenges, I'll say that it's a very wide question and very vast question. Entrepreneurship, you will have challenges at every step, right from the idea stage to, but the challenges will keep changing, right? Like, so at one point of time, you will have that, how do I get my first customer? Then you will have that, how do I build my team, right? Then you will have that, how do I scale up? So your challenges will keep changing, but yeah, the path is going to be, the only thing is, as I said before, you have to be persistent and you have to keep going.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those valuable words. AMARDEEP, sir, can we hear from you now?
Yes. So, challenge, the first challenge which I feel is, you need to have you need to find the right partner, co-founder, you say, because it's very much important, because that person, he or she, is going to be the first person whom we are going to work with. I have seen many startups failing because they don't have, they haven't got a good co-founder or a partner. So that's very much important. Second is definitely, as I say, funds. Funds play a major role. You need to keep yourself funded, and that's why I said, if you try to bootstrap, if you're able to bootstrap, I think things will fall in place. And else if you go for early, investment uh, rounds and all, that time you might have to set up a lot of equity to the invest. So that's what that's second thing. Third is the challenge which I feel is about building team. Today, it's not an easy task to set up a team, as per your uh, business or idea or product is concerned. So, these are covered 2 3 things which I thought like to add. The rest, most of the things have been covered by our respected panelists.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for those words. I think my next and last question for this discussion would be something related to cloud technology. Technology has been improving on a very rapid basis, and it is very fast these days. And the implementation of cloud technology in entrepreneurship. So how does this help entrepreneurs grow in today's world? Kishor, sir?
Yeah, it's a very good, valid question. See, we are all moving into an era where from capital intensive models of businesses, we are looking at more of asset light organizations and asset light business models. Now, if you're looking at the older version of how things used to happen, every office used to have a server and a large paraphernalia of hardware backup and data security. So many issues that were compelling matter, because now we have moved into a digitalized economy. So therefore, going way forward, everything is going to be on a digital plane. So obviously, there will be a lot of exposure to data and data piracy and data pilferage and leakage and all this stuff. Now, that is one part of it. And then when you look at the aspect of the marketing and various other stuff that is happening in the market on go-to-market approaches and strategies, all these are totally different now, where people are talking about growth acceleration in terms of how digital platforms and digital methods can create super acquisition of customers, right? And we're not talking in small numbers. Now we talked about 1 million user, 2 million user, that kind of languages. Now, if you look at all this, it is no longer possible for a small setup with a small infrastructure approach to handle such kind of accelerated growth and data management, where you need to have precise information on business intelligence and precise information on your customer responses, feedbacks, and then act upon it very fast. So the turnaround time is very small now. So in this process, cloud computing and cloud solutions are coming up to be a very attractive opportunity, where you don't waste your investment into having physical infrastructure, but you just go and connect to the cloud and everything is sorted. And then you have a very structured approach towards the filing system, the tagging system, the grading system, and all this. Also, you pull up the data which is required, and then the analytical part of it, and all the plug-on solutions that comes along with that. So, cloud management and cloud solution is now going to be a way of life. It is no longer a sort of a privilege of the few or people who can afford. It's going to be an everyday operational activity, right from a person who is in the farming on the ground to the people in the corporate world. All are going to depend, including educational institutions, will have to move into the cloud system. And then only you will be able to manage the required upgradation and the speed at which you need to. So we are talking about 5G and so many stuff that are now going to change the or disrupt the marketplace. So cloud is nothing but not a luxury, but a necessity of today and tomorrow, and maybe another 10 years, we will see super computational activities that is coming out of the cloud, data that is gathering. So this is an evolving place, and definitely any organization that wants to step into it now is a good investment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nanjunda, sir, can we hear from you now?
Techie is moving to the next generation now, with already the previous generation of getting most of these apps, that has filled up all our phones. But if you look at it, where the next generation of tech, if you see, each of us have 80% of all the data that is captured by any of these apps are pretty much similar. So this is where the next generation of cloud is about providing access to critical data on demand, and all data being captured as of now. So cloud is going towards a data light model, if I can put it that way. So far we were talking about in the traditional businesses as an asset light model. In a cloud business, we are going to go towards data light. So any of you are working on any of these businesses, so you no longer have to plan the cloud technology from a point of capturing all the data and having it there. So you actually can plan with what are the primary critical data that you require, and you can actually go towards accessing only that relevant data for you. And then that is primarily being done through stitching up with various other applications who are holding those key data. So cloud is clearly evolving into the next generation. So it will no longer be the same way how the traditional whatever business that so far the most of the app businesses have been primarily riding over cloud. So we are in the space where everything is evolving, right? From web 1, 2, 3 to blockchain 1, 2, 3, 4 to now cloud to the second generation. So it's great times even in the cloud technology to be.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Lalit, sir, can we hear from you now?
Yeah. So I think specifically in case you are trying to build a startup in technology space, right? So cloud is inevitable. Like if you have something which is related with technology, COVID has taught us that if you don't have a cloud infrastructure, then accessibility is a problem. To give you one example, so we have a lot of customers who come from traditional retail and or manufacturing industries, right? So they had to access their accounts data. One fine day, lockdown happens, and all the accounting data used to be, I'm sure majority of you will know a tool called Tally, right? Tally does not have a cloud interface. So all these guys were struggling, and then Tally was looking at how do they, build a cloud strategy. Tally was always, I have spoken to the leadership of Tally, they were always reluctant to go towards the cloud side, because they said that our CA's usability experience goes bad. But COVID taught them that cloud is inevitable. So I think the world is also moving towards Web 3.0, right? So that's going to bring in a lot of changes, and with 5G coming in, the data speeds are going to be immense on mobile phones. The least touch industries like farming, agriculture, right? They are moving towards adopting technology. And when they adopt technology, why do they want to adopt technology? They want to see the data on the mobile phone, right? So how is that possible? That's possible only through cloud technologies. So cloud is going to evolve, means it has already evolved, but it is going to change. So I don't know if you guys have heard of something called edge computing. I think what Nija touch base also on. Basically, you do all the processing locally, and then you send to the cloud what is only relevant for you, because clouds are becoming expensive and expensive over there. So the things are changing in that tech space as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. AMARDEEP, sir, can we have you next?
Yeah, sure. Just listening to all our respected panelists, I have a small, addition to what they are just said, yeah, cloud is a way to look, go ahead and to start with your digital journey and your enterprise, what to say. But down the line, I see something called fog computing. Fog technology is going to come in a big way. Have seen especially in this IoT sector, uh, especially in the US, I've seen startups or companies, they are using fog uh, because of various reasons. One of the reasons is like latency is one of the reasons why people are migrating from cloud to fog. And second is your security. So things are going to change in near future. Yes, looking at the current scenario, current present time, uh, cloud, people have to start from the cloud because it's cost effective and things happen fast enough. To start from here and then slowly you can migrate to fog the moment you grow big and things happen.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I think that was a wonderful discussion. We've almost come to the end of the panel discussion today, and I would like to call upon Ms. Kiruba Gauri to give up the vote of thanks.
1 minute, Vatan.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Students, any questions to this? Anyone would like to ask? One question from Meet. It's open to all the panelists. See, our students are all management students, and of course, some do come from engineering background, but majority here are all management students. Any suggestions from our end or some idea that they can, it will lead them also to think on those lines to be entrepreneurs or have their startups. We plan to have an incubation center, of course, with help of Mr. Kishor Jagirdar himself, soon once our building is ready. And so generally they feel that it is prototypes and all from engineering students, but management students, we do not have prototypes and things like that. Although we give them our ideas, but it would be nice if we could hear from experienced people like you all as to some 2-3 examples so that it helps them to get some idea on which lines they can think of and come up with some ideas to become entrepreneurs, have their own startups. Yes. It's open to all of you, anybody or everybody.
One thing I would like to say that you have a very good mix of engineering and MBA students. Create a forum for them where they can join together. Otherwise, what happens is like, they try to work always in silos, and engineering guys can't think of the business, and business guys get stuck that how will I get this engineering problem solved? So if you can, create a connect between them, that would be an amazing thing. And, talking about idea, I always say that like, just think about what you are passionate about, because nowadays kids are smart. And, in this information age, whatever you need, the information is available. You need the data trends, you need the, anything, it is available over the internet. So that way, like, if they feel that there is a problem around them and they're passionate about solving that, just go for it. Like, there is enough support system available in the Bangalore specifically. Bangalore is, I think Kishore has been one of the oldest in building the startup ecosystem in Bangalore. So yeah, so you will get enough support over here. Don't hesitate to meet the founders of other startups. Okay, those who are in your space or Bangalore people spend time. They will help you. But when you go to them, you have to be very specific what help you seek or what information you seek. So just go for it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? If you like.
Yeah, if somebody else wants to go. Okay. I'll that I can. So two things. One is that see, 400 students college, probably you can just get started. You have a captive market to consider. Actually start looking at one, even raising some funding to start with, you can start distributing tokens. I would rather say tokens than equity. So look at, you can actually look at funding and also model wherein you the solution or a service, anything have to be for one have been identified as
Sorry to trouble you. I think there's a bandwidth issue on your end.
venture. I'm not a
Nanjunda sir, could you please repeat, because I think there's a bandwidth issue on your end.
Maybe you can try without video.
I think he lost connectivity or something.
Yes, sir. I don't think Nanjunda sir is there in the meeting. Might be he's rejoining.
So you can go to the next.
Yeah, any of the students, you have any questions, you can please ask.
Well, I'll keep my camera off. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm butting in. So if somebody was speaking, please continue, or if I may, please let me know.
No one was talking. Only we were waiting for you.
Oh, sorry about it. Thanks again. So two things I was saying is that one, you look at very captive audience of 400 people as a market and get started. I think this is the best time to start your venture because you actually have a market and nobody's judging you. And it's much easier. So please get started. It could be a starting point, and even fund is not really as much a situation, but at least you start figuring out what's a gap, what is it that you could solve, and start picking on that. And second thing is, see, its most important thing is to don't think whatever you start or do has to be the most unique one. See, the very app we are talking, Zoom, it's the 10th in line of a video app, so to speak, and today it's number 1. So it was not the first, not the second, not the third, number 10 in the list. So you don't have to be the first to be doing something. I'm sure most of you are on Facebook. I'm not, but Facebook was, I think, 6th or 8th in line of a social media app, right? So and if you go on like that, right, I mean, iPhone, most of us are on iPhone today, and that was not the first smartphone. iPod was not the first MP3 player. Likewise, right? If you go on looking at it, there, most of the successful businesses today are not the first, not the second in most of the cases. So you don't have to be the first person to be doing things. So start looking at anything and everything. You can pretty much reinvent everything. I would say Uber can be rebuilt and bigger and better, including with Ola in our neighborhood. So everything you can do. So the whole world is your market. So you can just relook at it, everything, and the opportunity is as big.
That was wonderful. Our students can try out on any of the existing business that interests them, and they can, excel in that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Vardhan, you can take it forward. I think it's very clear. I cannot see any other students with questions. So
if I may add, just start
Okay.
looking at Web3. Just
Okay.
start looking at Web 3.0. Start downloading any of those crypto apps and
Yeah.
start playing with that, because there's going to be so much of future around it. Don't get demotivated by the rhetoric coming out of finance ministry or RBI. things are going to change. India has the highest number of users on the crypto space and investors in the crypto space. Things are going to be big and you guys are going to be leading it. So start playing with that, but don't get emotionally stuck with that. But be cautious and be an observer in that, but start playing with that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Vatan.
Ma'am, I'm having a question. Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Narayan. Actually, my question is, since if we see in today's world, most of the things that we are seeing in automobile cars is we are having that sunroof. Like we innovated and we have sunroof that is fully operated by our hand. And I think in the later time, we'll be seeing that everything in the automobile will be functioned by our voice recognition. I think they might be working on it. In the later stage, you might see. So being a student, we are doing actually marketing and with it, we are doing business analytics. So can you suggest any of the specified thing that we would go through to have a knowledge about this artificial intelligence and machine learning part of thing? So we would also think on such aspects about building such things that is related to either voice recognition or that type of creative ideas. Yeah, my question is.
So Narayan, what is
Was
your
I audible? Sorry.
what's your background?
I did my bachelor's in atmospheric geography.
Okay. So you want to know more about AI/ML, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
AI/ML, that too, like being a marketing student, how to enroll in that subject to get more specified knowledge of that subject, to think in a such a way that we also be getting such ideas and having a very logical and critical thinking about developing such artificial intelligence or uh, voice recognition type of things. Combination of artificial intelligence along with marketing and all.
So my question will be, have you joined any forums where these kind of topics are discussed?
Any kind of forums? I didn't get that.
There are a lot of online groups available, right? Nowadays, you may think you have the thing available online. There will be communities.
Yeah, actually, I have. No, actually, I have joined a course for
Network, sir. Narayan. Okay, if I can talk on his behalf, I know a little about him. I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So although his background is not from the technical side, and but he has special interest towards any of the data science areas, artificial intelligence, etc. So he is taking up some short-term courses on his own, but of course he'll be continuing his specialization in analytics, and so that is why his interest towards this question as to knowing how he can utilize this along with other specializations.
I'll give it an attempt. There are a lot of AI tools online, and so they are also making available a lot of APIs for you to integrate, and some of them which are really good. There are a few Indian ones which actually charge very small fee, and there is a freemium model where you can try it out free. So I really encourage, try it out. I think you don't really have to know the technology, but what is important is if you have or you think that it can be used in certain mods, certain way, that is most important thing. In fact, believe me when I say this, that most people who are very qualified in technology need people like you and me who can visualize better application of technology. So there are technologies available, and they are also putting it up online for you to try it out. So try it out, figure out whatever you think, and you can also go back to any of the other people to say that, listen, this is how I see a use case and can we build something around that? But first is keep trying out and start looking around. There are a whole lot of people trying out. Yes, I'll mute myself. I guess Dheer has something to say.
Ma'am, this is where I was saying that the engineering students with MBA students, if you can do that matching, right? So that helps them a lot. Like, yeah. So that's also like, there are a lot of webinars which happen. Narayan, his name was, right? I think we have lost him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Narayan.
Okay, okay. So, so Narayan, there are a lot of forums, there are a lot of discussion happen, which there is a group called meetup.com. There are a lot of webinars which happen. Attend those, though they will give you ideas on what is happening in this space. That will give you
Yes, sir.
some pointers towards it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so if you are not a tech person, find your co-founder now itself, who's a tech person, right? And work with them. Like, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Can I add something?
Yes, sir.
Narayan, just from my personal experience, I come from a management background and did my data science program. The best thing which I have found during my study was, there are a lot many tools which sir has said is available online. A couple of tools which definitely you can look at is Excel SAT, which is from Microsoft itself, where you don't need any coding, expertise. You can run a lot of machine learning algorithms, on that tool. We have, a lot of mocks available, from different universities on Coursera. You can look into those and then to start with, actually. And then a lot of YouTube videos are there to practice. And just to add to it, nothing to do with the studies and all, but this is something which we are building up. Is very soon we will be launching a tool where people don't have to break their heads for doing ETL, which is data cleaning. That will be available with a click of a button. So we are working on that project. I'm one of the team members in that, with one of my friend. He's a data engineer. So let's see if things happens. Then definitely we'll be bouncing it to you guys to test the that platform itself. So this is just to add what our respected panelist has said.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Wonderful. If you're coming up with ETL team tool, okay, that's the need. Thank you.
May I have a question? May I have a question from Aditya? Hello.
Yeah, please.
Yes, Amit.
Yes, sir. Do you feel that there is a absence of media regarding startup and innovation in native languages like Tamil, Telugu, Bengali? This native language newspapers or media doesn't provide us that much of news that the business world or business standard, this kind of English media is providing. So is there, do you feel like, is there any absence of this media? Will that impact anyhow, better scope?
That's how, the people like Google and Facebook of the world are making money. People, if you look at, the India as a country, because of India, companies like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, these guys are making money like hell from the advertising. Going, into regional language, there's a huge potential. You just bet on me. I have run campaigns, especially on, when there was hardly, I'm talking about Orkut days, when Facebook was just a baby. It was like just mushrooming at that time. And we were running a lot of campaigns online on a website portals itself. I am talking about my Indian Express days. We had run a campaign for Yes Bank, and we have run on dinamoney.com. The kind of inquiries which we have generated out of dinamoney.com was humongous versus the the mainline this one.
Exactly.
I'll tell you why this happened. I'll tell you why this happened. And people who are in the US, like I'm talking about the Tamilians. They they try to communicate in Tamil than in English at their home. That's what we came to know. And that was like, and they consume content in their own, they like to consume content in their own language. So this is the beauty, and we should at least ride on it. And for the startup ecosystem, yes, I feel there's a need of this. That's why your story also getting into this big time.
Yeah, sir. Your story, actually, I was referring your story. Your story, Bengali part was a bit, didn't get that much of traction actually. But they also started in regional languages, your story. Bengali, as I'm from Kolkata, I started following your story, Bangla. But you didn't follow, like carry up after some days it got stopped, the posting, the content got stopped. On only Hindi and English is now available. So that's why I was asking that, is there any boundaries?
Soumyadeep.
Yes, yes, sir.
She's been doing Malayalam content, mostly on the startup and business, and she's even received a couple of rounds of funding. There is a lot of opportunity. In fact, she's got a lot of following even in the Middle East because she's been doing a lot of Malayalam content. So, simple answer for your question: is there a need? There is a need, and it makes sense.
So, can you just repeat the name who is providing Malayalam content?
It's called Channel I Am. If you want to connect with the founder, her name is Nisha Krishnan. Maybe offline, if you connect, I can connect you to her.
Got it. Definitely.
Channel I Am when they read, but it's IandM.com, I think it is. 1 second, let me just. Yeah, it is CHANNELIM.com. They do have English and Malayalam version, but most of their audience are Malayalam content.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I started doing something regarding that in Bengali, but it didn't. Couldn't follow up much. But I really want to start it once again to get all this news into Bengali, to cater the Bengali audience.
Why don't you connect with Nisha, because Nisha was looking at expanding across India, so she may be able to give you a platform, and you could build a Bengali platform on top of the channel itself. And that may give you some amount of audience, some framework, something. So your cost to go to market may come down also. And also her experience of building it may be useful for you.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll just connect her over LinkedIn, then it will be better. If possible.
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah, if you need the connect, let Vatan know. I could share the coordinates with Vatan.
It will be a great help. Thank you.
Happy to.
Any more questions that the students have? Ma'am, can I go ahead with the vote of thanks? Yes. So, Kiruba Gauri, I think I would like to hand over the panel to Kiruba Gauri to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Vatan. This had been a very enriching and enlightening session for all of us to have such brilliant minds discuss over a very important topic for MBA and PGTM students right now. I think with these sessions, we were able to understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur and how we go about surviving in this whole startup culture. I would like to firstly thank our panelists of today, Kishor Jagirdar sir, Lalit Gupta sir, AMARDEEP sir, and Nanjunda sir, for taking time out of their busy schedules and giving us this wonderful session. And I would also like to thank Dr. Sheetal Mahinder and Vatan Singh here for handling this session, this panel discussion so beautifully. And I would also like to thank our audience for listening here with all their patience. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kiruba. I think I would like to thank the panelists once again on behalf of everyone, on behalf of the whole ISBR group of institutions. And it will be wrong if I don't mention Dr. Manish Kothari, our managing director. And thank you. A big thanks to Dr. Y Lakshman Kumar, our director, and our IIC convener, Dr. Sheetal Mahendra ma'am, to help us organize such a vibrant event. And I think we've just gone through the growth phase of entrepreneurship. What exactly is entrepreneurship, and how, what challenges do we face? And I think we've also come across a lot of discussions, and we've got healthy insights about the same. So I'd like to thank all the panelists from the whole of ISBR. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, audience, for being amazing listeners and giving out good questions. So we would like to conclude the session right now. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.